Welcome to Point Blank. This is your host, Panama Crypto. Today our guest is Cheds, or aka Big Cheds. He needs no introduction, really. Welcome, Cheds.
How you
Good to
doing,
have
man?
you in Point Blank, my man. How you been?
I've been doing well, and I want to say thank you. Appreciate you having me. I'm glad we could connect in this way, and I think you do some great work in this space, and I enjoy having these conversations, so thank you.
So, Cheds, let's kick it off. Can you shed some light on who Cheds is?
I'm just like you. I'm a trader. At one point in my journey, I realized, I said I want to stop getting my butt kicked. I want to learn how to do better and stop repeating my mistakes. And I did that. I kind of networked through social media. I started sharing some of my experiences. Built up a little bit of a following, and that kind of developed into who Cheds is. It's just a nickname my friends gave me, several decades ago, and it's kind of stuck around. I'm just someone who's happy to be part of this space. I'm a Japanese candlestick trader. I also study classical charting. For me, the fundamental analysis isn't that important because eventually all that will work its way into the chart. So I believe that the kind of chart has all the information I need. I like to ride a trend, and I like to look for signs that trend is changing. I like to talk and think a lot about psychology. I studied it in college, and I like to apply that with risk management into my trading. And I just enjoy being part of the community, the memes, just everything. And I'm always trying to learn. I have a lot to learn, and it's a great space to kind of learn different things. So I'm just, like I said, for the fourth time, I'm just happy to be part of it.
Nice. What is your professional background, Cheds?
Professional background, sales for the most of my adult life. I did various forms of sales, customer service. I have a background in psychology as well, which kind of helped me in those fields. But I've been trading now full time for 5 or 6 years. Before that I was in sales pretty much since I was, since I could work, since I was, 14, 15 or 6. I just worked pretty much my whole life, mostly sales, customer service. So I would say that's my professional background.
Cool. What does Ched do outside crypto? What are your hobbies?
Hobbies. Well, I have a family. I spend time with my family, like everybody else. I love fishing, freshwater fishing, smallmouth bass. I'm learning, other stuff like that. So I like getting out on the water. I don't do that enough. Most of it, few of us, have the time or the ability to do that really as much as we want. I love to garden. So I'm working in my yard all the time, pulling weeds, trying different things. One of these years, I'm actually going to grow something I can eat. My wife's always making fun of me that I grow everything, but nothing, like, where is it? Nothing happens. So I'm having fun with gardening, experimenting. I love playing basketball. I sit around all day, shoot free throws, and just kind of let my mind work through things. And I'm a total video game addict. So I kind of work that into my routine where I just play video games on one TV, and I watch HBO on the other TV, and I'm just kind of just chilling out. And then, checking my phone, shit posting on Twitter, posting charts, kind of, that's my routine, I'd say.
What games are you currently playing?
Let's see. So, I played Call of Duty like everyone else, but I kind of got away from that. I like simulation games. I'm playing right now the Railroad Empire. So you just have different cities and you're trying to feed them different resources. So I like to figure out how to maximize it and have the cities grow at the right pace. I'm playing another game called Steam World Quest. It's a Nintendo Switch, and it's kind of like an RPG, but you use playing cards for each turn. You can have 3 actions, and you pick an action. I like Civilization. I like games like that. I like kind of sci-fi space games, but really I'm playing that railroad game right now. But I'm looking for another game. I want a game that's so good that makes me stay up late. That I'm just waiting to play it because it kind of will pull me away from other stuff. I need that. I need to work that into my routine. Not that I want to do it all the time, but I want to have a game like that I can get so into that I can kind of let, other layers of my mind maybe think about things and just.
Like what? Have you played a game like that before?
Yeah, I was playing this railroad game. Got me pretty good for a while. I was playing a space game. I don't know why I can't think of it right
EVE
now.
Online?
No, I didn't play that. It was on the PlayStation. You go around to different planets and you farm resources, you develop technologies, and there were all these different races and you try to learn their language. I don't know why I can't think of it, but I like a game I can get really, really, really into for a while.
So the storyline is really important for you.
Storyline. No, it's about theme. I like space themed. I guess mechanics are what is important to me, and I like to grind a little bit. So I like to be able to, have my characters get stronger by just like fighting trash mobs or just kind of
What
fighting over
about
and over again.
StarCraft?
Yeah, I like StarCraft, but I was more of World of Warcraft kind of guy. At one point in my life, I had a beard down to my belly from playing all the time, from WoW Classic on, and I took about 10, 15 years off. I played a little bit a few years ago, and I realized that it was too much for me, and I had to kind of unplug. Because if you play, you have to put in like 30, 40 hours a week just to stay to par, especially if you want to be in a guild and you want to go do the big dungeons and stuff. And I can't commit that kind of time. So maybe at a different point in my life, but not right now.
How does the wife cope with your gaming style life?
So she is she's a very patient woman. Uh, she had to be to kind of put up with my eccentricities. She knows I need a lot of me time, a lot of time to decompress. And she has her time. She has her friends. I like her friends, but it just works because she understands what I need, and we're compatible. So rather than trying to force a situation where I'm not compatible, I mean, it works because we are,
Yeah,
you know?
at least on my end, my wife has my weekend time. During the week, it's more easy for me to escape and play some Call of Duty or World of
Yeah.
Warships, which is the two games I'm playing right now.
The key is to kind of be attuned to her and make sure I kind of try to pay attention. Is she happy? What's going on? She'll give me signals. I want this one done. I want that done. I try to like get things done. If she makes a request, hey, can you get it done?
She
So
gives you quests.
no, like can you fix this? Can you build that? Or can you help me with this? What do I try, if I kind of give her what she needs, then I can just go do my thing. I mean,
Nice.
so I have to
So
put in my effort.
you don't have to do any guesswork. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And you got to ask the right questions too. So that
It's
all
part of the
helps.
game, I guess.
That's right,
The
brother.
game of being married.
Yes, sir.
So, Ches, how you got into trading and in crypto also?
So I started trading in college, and I had no idea what I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I would, because I thought I would just come in and smash it. And it turned out I was buying the news, right? Instead of buying the rumor. I was buying the top, I was selling the bottom. Um, and so I didn't know what I was doing. That was my first dabbling in that kind of stuff. I did that for a while. And then around 2013 and 14, I started to take it a lot more seriously. And I started trading penny stocks on the OTC market. My good friend at Big Chonas, he got me into that. And I learned a lot about volatility. And I kind of started to see, hey, these Japanese candlesticks are cool. I like that. Oh, the hammer. Yeah, a hammer. So I was like, that's cool. Oh, doji. So I started to get into that. And it's like I had a decent amount of money in play and I wanted to be successful. So not only was I studying kind of the order flow, the L2, the bids and the asks, all lined up, but I was trying to figure out like, what is this charting thing? Does it even work? And so I started to study that and I made a lot of mistakes. And those mistakes, once I had kind of realized, hey, this is a repeat mistake, like I said earlier, I put it out on Twitter. Hey, guys, don't do this. Hey, guys, don't do that. And I started it like a brand of like, hey, these are my old mistakes. Don't do these mistakes. I started my blog, chedstrading.blogspot.com. And I kind of got a sense for what I was doing. I became a little bit of a teacher. By teaching people, you learn yourself. So it's that process. And that kind of was a natural evolution. And that went from maybe 2014 to 2017. And so 2017, I'm up to about 10K followers on Twitter. And I discovered crypto, and I discovered it when I was hanging out at Big Chonas, and he showed me his cell phone, and I looked at his cell phone, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Ethereum, Litecoin. So I thought to myself, what are these precious minerals? Like, why do you have precious minerals in your phone? It was weird to me, right? I remember that so vividly. I remember that moment. And so I said, okay, whatever. I'm a chart guy, right? So let's put out some charts. I started posting Litecoin charts, Bitcoin charts. All of a sudden, boom, retweet, response. And I'm like, we got something going on here. And I transitioned into crypto. right at the same time I got diagnosed with cancer. So this is November 2017. I'm getting into crypto, and it's like, hey, you have cancer. So like, instead of just being woe is me all the time, and I focused on crypto, and it allowed me to have something that I could believe in and focus on, rather than my problems. I eventually beat my cancer and grew my crypto brand and learned about crypto. I still have no idea what I'm talking about beyond the charts. I don't know, like blockchain, is that a clothing brand? I don't understand. So, but I'm much better at the charts and risk management and the social psychology and understanding the players in the game. Great strides with that. I enjoy sharing it with people and learning and getting better, like I said. So that's how I got involved in trading, and that's how I got involved in crypto.
That's nice. The positive thing about crypto is that you don't need to know the intrinsities of blockchain or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other blockchain that is out there. So and true. It's a plus to be able to trade and read a chart. You don't necessarily need to learn the technicalities of blockchain.
Especially if you believe that everything is factored into the chart. And that's a theory of classical charting, is that at any given moment, that reflects everything that is publicly known, right? The key there is publicly known. There's private information, but that just reflects everything that's publicly known. Buyers and sellers, the demand and supply equilibrium is reflected in that moment. That's the price. And you go from there. Trend analysis, you try to identify what your major trend is, try to look for signs of a weakening trend. You observe key levels, psychological levels, just regular horizontal, diagonal, support, resistance. And you kind of go from there, look for pattern recognition. And you kind of keep in mind that there are other people out there like you who see the bull flag, who see the ascending triangle, who see the whatever, and they're going to play it that way too. That's why these things work, because it's a social game as well. And I find it fascinating. It's like a video game, and crypto's cool, man. And it feels like it's the beginning. It's a growing field. Even though I'm terrible at fundamental analysis, I recognize the inflationary nature of the dollar and fiat currencies writ large. I understand the scarcity of Bitcoin, which is a major selling point, even for someone like me who has no idea about, stuff outside the chart. So
cool. What current crypto projects you got going on?
What am I holding and all that, and
like projects? What? Like, do you have any partners, crypto projects, education?
So I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, which is the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. Founding analyst along with other great traders like Peter Brandt and Bob Lucas and Dean. We have great contributors, so just something I'm honored to be involved with. I work with this exchange called Bing Bon, which is pretty cool. You can do like crypto, you can do Forex, you can do commodities, kind of all in one place. It's reliable, they're safe, I respect them. They're big in Asia, they're big in Taiwan and Vietnam, and they're kind of expanding out here. So I kind of work with them, spread the word a little bit. But for the most part, it's just Twitter. I don't have a private chat room or anything. I don't partner with like any shit coins or anything. It's kind of not my thing. I don't know anything about them, so I couldn't be like, I'm representing like Oxygen Coin or whatever. I don't know what Orchid Coin, whatever they're called. Like, and I don't know anything about DeFi and yam farming or potato farming. Like, I'm glad people are making money. Like, that's cool. Like, I want to see people making money. I want to see an ecosystem that's thriving. I want to see, that big up, the big down. I want to see people arguing, is it legit or not? I want to see the ecosystem in action, and I'm having fun watching it.
This episode is brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange that makes possible to trade with leverage on legacy markets from a single Bitcoin-based account.
Can you walk us through your go-to trading strategy and style, Cheds?
Sure. I believe that you should be a thrifty buyer. You should be a cheap buyer, right? You should try to. Okay, so start out with the scent. If you're having trouble, a lot of people is because you're fighting the trend. You've heard people say, "Don't fight the trend." So you want to be a cheap buyer, but you want to be buying in an uptrend. You want to buy the dips in an uptrend. You don't want to be the guy who's trying to guess at every gravestone doji and every shooting star. You don't want to be the guy guessing that that's the top, right? You want to assume the trend is going to continue. So find an established trend and buy rising support in that trend, right? I use the 8 EMA. It's a Fibonacci number. I use the 8 and the 34. So I watch those for a cross. I watch the 8 for support, primary uptrend, and on downtrends. I'll just post it on Twitter, Bitcoin. Dip, like Bollinger Bands are amazing. So you go to a larger time frame when you have a dip below a daily Bollinger Band in an uptrend. That's a good buy. I posted that tweet on Bitcoin. And then you look at the lower time frame, 50-minute EMA 8, which is your primary downtrend support. You get the break. I start out by looking at the candles, and I start out by trying to buy a dip in an uptrend, for example. And then going from the candles, I'll then factor in my indicators, my RSI, my unbalanced volume. You never want to look at them first because you don't want them to be the primary thesis. You don't want them to be the primary idea for any trade. Those are meant for confirmation. You start with the price action, and then you use your indicators to kind of confirm what's going on. You're looking for divergence. Is the unbalanced volume confirming your trend? Is the RSI giving you warning signs or kind of hinting at maybe there's an oversold or an overbought condition? So I kind of look at all those things, but generally speaking, I want to be a patient and be a dip buyer. Like if you want to buy here, maybe buy there. And I also have a stop loss that I respect because I respect my bankroll. So when I enter a trade, I have a stop loss by which my trade thesis will fail. My trade thesis might be that here's my rising support line and it's bounced off it every time. Well, guess what? If it doesn't bounce it off that time and it breaks, I'm out, right? I'm not going to stick around because I'm wrong and stubborn. If I'm wrong, I get out. You got to get out. Have your stop loss. I lock up my profit. If I can, like if I'm leverage trading, or if there's any time kind of a situation where I can actually ride free, that's ideal. So you sell half at 100%. I mean, you don't just go 100%, but ideally I lock up my profit and try to get into a position where each future decision is easier. That's what you want to do. I scale in, I scale out. I'm not buying all in one lot. I'm giving myself a little flexibility. So I'm riding a trend. I'm properly managing my money, and I'm staying honest with my stop loss. And that has served me well.
What would be your most important trading advice, Cheds?
Probably, there's so many. I would say this. Obviously, everyone says only risk money you can afford to lose. So, I mean, I'll just put that out there, but I want to go beyond that. Because, if it's money you can afford to lose, it will hopefully take away the emotional attachment, and it will allow you to be a more calculating trader. But what I would say is this: if you want to be a trader, either do it or don't, right? Don't half do it. Don't, like, if you're gonna do it, do it. What does that mean? That means a trading log, which is your wins and losses in a spreadsheet. It means a trading journal. Every trade, why you entered, what happened. Things to reflect on it. Commit to it. Every day you're going to scan the market at this time. Put in the time. You're going to have to put in the time. You're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to push yourself to get better. You're going to have to identify the right people to kind of listen to for some knowledge, some experience. Don't half do it. Don't say I'm going to be a trader, put in no effort, and then complain that you got unlucky. You didn't get unlucky. It's your fault. You didn't put in the time. You have to either put in the time or not. And if you're going to put in the time, you're going to have to expect a lot of failure, a lot of hard times to get you there. Only through experience can you build up muscle memory. Only with all those scabs in your hand, it's eventually stronger. You have to have those licks. You have to have those bumps in the road. Yeah. So commit to it and be patient. If not, it's totally cool. Be a hodler, accumulate, buy on the dip, throw it in your cold wallet, and go live your life. But if you're going to be a trader, you have to put in the time. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the time.
Any crypto project you're currently excited about?
Yeah, there's this thing called Bitcoin. Yeah. I'm excited. See, I'm a trader, so I like action. So I like Link. I'm excited about Link because it's fun to trade.
So you shorting the fuck out of it?
Yeah, but no. Yes, but no. But I don't want to short an uptrend. I would be very careful. This thing at any point could just rip, because if you look at the history of the chart, it's a mega super uptrend, primary uptrend, right? You don't just, I'm going to short it. Good. Have a tight stop. And, be willing to lose a couple trades, good enough. On the other hand, I'll make the counter to that is, in a shorter window, it's had a crazy move from like $5 to whatever it went to. Sure, you want to short it back to $10. 11, 12, $13. I think that's reasonable, but I'm not trying to work against a trend. Generally speaking, I want to find a good spot to buy a dip with Link rather than trying to short it. You know what I mean?
What are your backs for ages? It can't be Bitcoin.
Oh, what are my bags like that I'm holding now, or like over time?
Over
Type of.
time. No, like what are you holding for the ages?
Oh,
Can't be Bitcoin.
I only have, other than Bitcoin, I only hold two things. Everything else is traded. So I have Litecoin, and my wife is mad because I have her in with a cost average of like $200. Okay. So she keeps asking me, when are we going to get back to that? So we have some Litecoin. I've been adding to it. That's coming down.
It's
I
cheap
also
right
have,
now. It's gonna pump with Bitcoin.
yeah,
So
it's
good
good.
time
I
to buy
mean,
right now.
hey, I can't argue with that. You could buy it in the 50s, you could buy it in the 40s and the 30s, and it just always eventually gets back up to 60, 70. So I think that's fine. I also have ZRX from a couple of years ago. A friend of mine who's involved with Silicon Valley crypto was like, this seems like a good project. And I'm like, okay, man, whatever. And so I put a little bit of money into it, not that much, like 5,000 or something. And I've just held that in the cold wallet, and I still kind of hold it to this day. So other than Bitcoin, it's just those two.
Who do you think will win 2020 presidential elections in the US? Tough one.
No, I think Biden's in a strong position. Democrats are on track to pick up seats in the House, expand their majority in the House, and pick up 5 or 6 seats in the Senate. I think the reason Trump won, in great part, two reasons. One, the Democrats ran Clinton. Everyone hated Hillary Clinton. She had really high unfavorability ratings, and at the time, they were the two most highest unfavorability candidates in history, right? Trump and Clinton. So Trump ran up against the only other person as unfavorable as him. And then number two, like a week before the election, the FBI came out and said they're opening up a new investigation into Clinton. And that tanked it because she lost by like 50,000 votes over 3 states. Really, really, really tight race. And all the late breaking voters were 2-1 for Trump. They've done the analysis of that. So like basically the FBI handed Trump the election, and he was running against Clinton. Biden's in a strong position. Trump has lost a lot of his support for how he didn't take COVID seriously enough. Okay. I'm not like an orange man bad and Trump's bad at everything. I mean, there's some things he's done I like, but
Like what?
Generally speaking, I believe in more local governance. I believe in less regulation if possible, streamlining things. I don't take that all the way. I'm a very centrist person. So I think that's fine. I think you have to have some ebb and flow. And I think some of that's fine, but he didn't take COVID seriously, calling it a hoax. And like the dude sits around and like watches cable news and shit posts cable news and golfs all the time. Like that's not, I mean, it's for me, I only speak for me. I think that doesn't work. And I have a couple friends who are like, yeah, I voted for him, but like he didn't take COVID seriously. And I think that's going to haunt him. Is that as big as the fact that he doesn't have Clinton to run against? I don't know. That's a big thing. Biden's above 51% favorability, and Clinton never got to that point. He's running like 5-6 points above, higher, better than Clinton was against Trump at this point in the race. So I think he'll probably win, but it's going to get ugly, really, really ugly.
We got like August, September, October, like 3 really ugly months of presidential race.
Ugh.
And I have to give it to Trump. The U.S. economy was doing really good before COVID, and there's not a single leader in the world that actually tackled properly COVID. Like right now, you could say like Sweden was the only one that did it properly, and South Korea. But the rest of the world, like really bad execution of measures against COVID.
From what I've read, New Zealand has gotten a lot of credit for how they've handled it. Maybe one of the few. They went like 100 days, I think, with no cases. So New Zealand's handled it well. And we're talking about Trump. I think a lot of it would have been really bad regardless. So I think like the job losses, like I don't blame him for the job losses. per se, maybe not, maybe a little bit, but not really. I think it would have been really bad. Like, you can't shut down the world economy without a ripple effect. But I think he wouldn't wear a mask early on, and he talked about it going away and being a hoax. I think regular people didn't take it as seriously in their personal lives, and it spread more as a result. I think it's hard to not see that. And I think that's going to be a liability for him. And people are hurting. So I think like that's just kind of, I think he could have handled it better, in my humble opinion, kind of based on those reasons.
Yeah, with his personality, I doubt that he would have taken it seriously from the beginning.
Yeah.
In so many iterations in the Matrix, all the results will have been the same. That's my guess.
Similar. I think like I said, I think it would have been really bad. And I don't blame him for all the COVID job losses here in America, but I think it would have been a little bit better. And the messaging's been all over the place. And so that's, I don't think he has exhibited good leadership on that issue. It's my opinion, my personal opinion.
Well, on both ends of the parties in the United States, Democratic and Republican parties have not put out good leaders in the past term and this current term that you guys are gonna vote for a president this time around. So I guess it's a problem throughout both parties.
What I would say is we don't have a great system here. It's politics is not about policy; it's about survival. So politicians really, it's just about staying in office. For example, if you look at the U.S. House of Representatives, they run every 2 years, and something like more than half of their time is spent fundraising. So they're not doing constituent services. They're not doing what the people need. So if you're fundraising all the time, if you have these laws where we have money flowing into politics without disclosure. So big money's coming in, and money is speech. Corporations own both sides, right? So all this, if Biden wins, the market's going to go down. No, like the market goes up no matter what, because corporations own both parties. And that's a problem. We need more than two parties. People aren't just one way or another. We need a spectrum of political parties so we can have coalition governments. I think it's a major problem in the United States. And we spend all 4 years, we're always in a presidential cycle. A lot of these other countries, like in Europe, it's like 8 months of campaigning, 6 months of campaigning. In America, it's always campaigning. It's never policy. It's never governing. So our system is completely terrible. And yes, Democratic leaders have not been great. So I'm not like a super duper liberal. No, I'm someone who just wants like a better system of government. And I'll hold either party accountable. That's how I stand.
What's your overall market forecast for the next year, both for legacy and crypto?
For the next year, bullish. I think everything's going up. Dollar keeps printing, scarcity of Bitcoin, more adoption, institutional accumulation. I think we're in a bull cycle. I think there might be some hijinks between now and November, maybe November and January, but I think kind of from January on for sure, when we know who's in charge of a new kind of establishment here in the US, I think we resume the uptrend if we haven't already done that. So I think, the money has to go somewhere. There's a lot of people with money on the sidelines. On the other hand, you have the other side of that is people are hurting. There's no money to pay bills. They can't buy their medicine. So you have the huge disconnect between kind of the investor class and kind of most people just trying to get by. So those people are going to be in major trouble. And you might even see widespread riots in the streets. Market will just keep going, man. Where's the money going to go if not into the market?
And with that thought, we end the episode. Very happy to have hosted Cheds here in Point Blank. Thanks for coming on, man. Can you tell us where we can find you?
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I enjoy these conversations. And for those who are watching, show your love. Panama doesn't have to put in the time to produce these things for you. You're probably just hanging out and listening to it. So show some love, spread the word. You can find me. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds, of course. I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. Check that out in my bio. I also have a blog, chedstrading.blogspot.com. I'm also an author. I wrote about fighting cancer and being a cancer caregiver, all while being like a crypto guy. It's on Amazon, My Battles with Cancer. It's also in my link, my bio on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. I'm there all the time. I never sleep. So check me out.
Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace.
This episode was brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange where you can trade without KYC on legacy markets with your Bitcoin. You can trade commodities like gold, silver, oil, even indexes and forex. Join now and get a 50% bonus on top of your deposit for trading at u.primexbt.com/Panama.